What's going on, people? Welcome back to the first talking transfers of the transfer window, the summer transfer window. I'm joined by the Lyles.
Yeah.
Joined by the Lyles.
You're surrounded.
Yeah,
surrounded.
Can we just give a round of applause just quickly? Just start. Come with me, please. This is for you. 5 days in, you doing transfer day, and I'm already pissed off with what's going on. Nothing's happened. I think the fans are getting a little bit frustrated, as I'm sure they are, because of we haven't signed anyone yet, but we see other clubs doing business across, all other clubs. Yeah. But Arsenal seem to, as always, take things very slow. And in this show today, we're going to delve into why things are taking so long. We haven't got the full answers, but we're going to try and go through why that is the case. We're going to go through Gyökeres and Sesko, which seems to be the dominating everyone's. I mean, you must be doing this every morning, so you must be tired of this.
Gyökeres and Sesko daily going on at the moment, right? So, we talk about literally every day. So, yeah. Exactly
that. And then we're going to go through some players that we might see returning. Would it be beneficial for Arsenal to bring some of the players back? So we'll look at that as well. And then something different. I think I watched, your Transfer Daily. I watched all transfer shows across the Arsenal fan base. I want you guys to think of one name that no one's really talking about that should sign for us. That'll be the back end of the show. And of course, we'll be getting your comments. This is a live show. Get your super chats in, get your comments in, and we'll make sure we talk through it. But the first place to start is, well, actually, we have signed someone, or we're looking at signing someone. Former Juventus head of scouting and Granada director Matteo Tognazzi currently is in advanced talks to sign at Arsenal. We're signing someone. He'd be part of the team working under Andrea Berta as a scout. Now, that is the news that's broke today from Fabrizio Romano. It's not a player. I saw someone in the comments saying, can he play up front? Let's hope so. But, I mean, is that? Let's just start there before we get into why Arsenal are taking so long to do signings. Is that a good thing that we're bolstering the scouting team, considering that should have really been, in my opinion, sorted before we got to this stage of the transfer window opening? But they're adding people. I hear he's been a big part in Juventus scouting players over there. He had the likes of Huijsen, who's obviously at Real Madrid. He brought him in, Sol as well, and another player. So there's some credibility there. But do you not care about that? Do you care, or is it just like...
I'm a little surprised that normally when these people take over these jobs, am I right in thinking that they bring their team with them? So a little bit...
No, this is a sporting director, isn't he, Berta? And, he's just bolstering... you've already got scouts in that Arsenal. He's just bolstering that. Like, probably this guy's going to be more of an international scouting abroad. But, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Scouting now in football is so important. Like, getting in players young, finding that talent is so important. We've seen it in recent weeks. So you see even the Champions League final when you see players like Barcola, who's been brought into PSG, and how good he's done. Doué, it's very important to spot these young players sometimes before the big fees are going to be paid for them. If you can go out there and spot a young Yamal somewhere and bring him in, you're saving yourself a lot of money. You're getting that player in cheap. So scouting is very underrated because we always focus on all the headline names and all the big, but really and truly, if you're a football club, you don't want to be signing a player for 50 million plus. You want to be able to get them, them in early for 5 million, develop them, and then that's your player for, and if you want to sell him on, you've made a massive profit. So scouting is very, very important.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if you look at teams like Brighton, we praise Brighton for their brilliant scouting. Look at Moises Caicedo. They probably got him in for pennies, and he's the most expensive player to have ever been purchased in the Prem by Chelsea. And even like all the, and they're able to
N'Golo Kante, how much less to pay for him.
Yeah, and they're able to replace these players. So again, look at Baleba, who's like come in and look how good he's been.
A player I want.
So exactly. So scouting is really important. But what I would say is like this is something that I would have wanted to see when Bert first came in. Sort that out then. I don't care about backroom stuff. I care about players. That's important, but that should have been done before then. Like now, bring me players.
Okay, well let's talk about why. And listen, with Arsenal, we're kind of used to this. I mean, we've done welcome videos. Say Calafiori last summer. I did a welcome video a month before. We was in where were we?
LA?
Philly. No, I think it was in Philly when he got announced. And we had the welcome video done a month before. Like, Rob, we're going to start with you. You do Transfer Daily. I think, that there's things about people saying about the accounts and we have to wait till July for things get sorted. Me and Curtis did a live recently. and he mentioned that last summer there was the Euros in place, and Arsenal didn't act fast. Said, listen, there's been a major tournament. Let's wait till that's done. Then you can start having proper conversations, get it over the line. This summer they give you a little bit earlier to open the window. Then there's a Club World Cup. You'd think in that little bit before the break, when we pause the window, that especially Arsenal, they should be getting things done. We should get the players signed, integrated, or is there more to it than that?
I think people need to just... listen, with the history of Arsenal now, I get it. I get why people are getting annoyed at it. They just need to calm down, man. Relax. The transfer window opened on the 1st of June.
You said this last year.
You say this. He says every year.
No. This is
every
listen.
Year. Not just last year.
I'm dead.
Calm down, everyone.
You're
right?
the voice of reason, but calm down.
So how many teams have bought players right now?
Man United.
Chelsea got Liam Delap, Man United,
Liverpool.
Cunha.
Man City,
Liverpool, Man City have just been
And Frimpong at Liverpool.
Brentford. They bought what's his face, Kelleher from Liverpool.
Yeah.
That's
And then, by the way, none of those have been, as far as I know, none have been officially announced yet because they can't be until the end of, a lot of those until the end of this month, isn't it? Right? These transfer windows are opened early for the teams really that are in the Club World Cup to get business done, right? So you notice like City, Chelsea, because they can bring those players in just like how Real Madrid did with Trent, and those players can play in the Club World Cup. That was the purpose of this first stage of the transfer window, is mainly for those teams and teams around the world and around Europe that are in that Club World Cup to be able to bring in players, so that you can bring them in, so that they get them in now so that they can play in that Club World Cup. Then it shuts, then it opens again. But we're still
why wouldn't you utilise that though?
We're still in June. I mean, like, you know, even if you bring a player in now, he ain't gonna be training with you or nothing. You know what I mean? He's not. You know what I mean? These players are all going. Apart from those players that are going to a Club World Cup, all players that are internationals, they're all going on holiday. So, to me, I think people, like 5 days into the window, was it June the 5th? The window opened on the 1st.
Yeah.
I think people are getting.
But you can understand
away.
their skepticism.
I understand.
Right? Yeah.
No, I'm saying I understand it because of Arsenal's history in transfers, right? Why people are like, well, look, this one, but it ain't like a load of signings have been made.
No, but it's more than that. It's more than that to me. The Martin Zubimendi deal was announced that he was coming, not officially announced, but Arsenal PR'd it.
Arsenal didn't PR anything.
What, the Zubimendi? When we lost, when we weren't winning the league, they well, it may not
Arsenal,
be, but
Arsenal PR'd it.
You know the words started rushing around all social media saying, "Don't worry, Zubimendi's been confirmed." You saw when we knew we weren't winning the league.
There's a rumour. There's strong rumours out there.
Where's that come from? What, you think that wasn't initiated by the club at all?
Not necessarily Arsenal.
Rob, come on, you're not naive. More naive than
honestly,
that.
let me tell you.
Come on, you've been doing this game for a long time,
and that's
the
why
timing of things. Even when we got knocked out of the Champions League, that Martin Zubimendi rumour started pushing around again.
Honestly,
don't worry, it's closed. It's pretty much
I
done
see what
now.
Cecil's saying.
I think Cecil does make a good point.
Cecil does make a good point.
That a rumour like Zubimendi to Arsenal to Arsenal is not coming. That rumour at this stage is not coming from the club. I can tell you, they're not, because if that deal falls through, which it could easily do for many a reason, right? They get made to look really stupid. I can tell you that.
But they can say to the journalists, just this is what's happened. If they utter a whisper about it.
Let me say something to you, right? Most rumours that you hear, right? Not every single one, but 90% of rumours that you hear come from agents.
Yeah.
They don't come from the club. The club will not want to tell people, especially this far ahead, about a Zubimendi if it falls through.
No, but to be fair, the club could have dispelled the rumour.
Especially in light of what happened with Zubimendi before at Liverpool, where it was being, out there that he's definitely coming, and then he didn't come, and they got made to look really stupid.
Why would they dispel the rumour then?
That wouldn't come because they won't do it. They won't dispel it. If you speak to them, they won't dispel it, and they won't say it. They'll just stay with every rumour, literally every rumour to do with a football club. They won't say nothing, especially Arsenal. They won't say anything. Whether they're coming or going, they won't say anything. It's going to come mainly from agents and be like, yeah. And those agents will say something, and then journalists pick up on it, and that's how you hear about most of these rumours. I'm telling you, the club is not going to push out there with Zubimendi when it's not a definite that it's done. They look stupid.
I think they partly entertain things like that. I think just to get the timing of all these rumours being moved around the Arsenal fan base and across social. I don't know. I feel like it has to be.
You're saying it's from the club, but you guarantee that that's coming from the club?
Well, it's people that I suppose most of the people we trust when it comes to whether it's Fabrizio Romano's and whatnot, a lot of this stuff, it feels like, or big Arsenal pages that seem to be in cahoots with the club. I've been at games where they said, yeah, the club invited me, they're just big Twitter accounts. So I think when it comes to certain news that they have some sort of information to keep things going, in my opinion.
A lot of those,
so the timing is
honestly, Cecil,
very suspect.
Honestly, Cecil, people will try and make out that they're getting sometimes lots of information from clubs. They're not. Most of that information is coming from agents, sometimes from the player themselves or people around the players. The clubs are very, very reluctant. You see with a club, I'll tell you when a club sometimes will let off information about a player, when that player's on the verge of being signed, right? So with Liverpool, what Liverpool's saying about Frimpong is probably people around the deal and all that. It's quite common knowledge that it's starting to happen. Then a couple of days before that's going to be announced now and whatever, then they might brief a trusted journalist that they know and say, right, Frimpong's, we're going to announce it on Wednesday at this time and blah, blah, and they get it. But most of those rumours, agents and people that are around potential deals and things that are happening, they're the sources.
Listen,
I don't
I'll
know.
tell you, I know a few of them.
Go on.
I'd say two things can be true at once. I think on one hand, what Cecil says is right in the fact that the club hasn't said anything they haven't come out and said we're going to sign him. But for example, you look at Mikel Arteta saying this is going to be a massive window. We're going to kind of go all out.
He said that in January.
Yeah, but but these are all being consistent. He said, especially after massive losses where we've fallen out of the Champions League. When we fell out of the Champions League to PSG, the next day you're hearing about this is the big summer. They want to target these areas because they know they're weak there. But I think you're also right in the sense that it is agents that do feed a lot of stuff out there to your Fabrizios, your Ornsteins, or whatever.
I think there's a big difference between saying at a press conference this is going to be a big summer to
of course, that's not specific.
And as I said, right, clubs are very reluctant because as well, right. So you think of it this way, right, with a lot of clubs, why they don't like to put a lot of their business out there early because other clubs will go and try and get that player.
Hijack it.
You know what I mean? So
we're seeing that right now with PSG and Real Madrid.
I know you said the clubs are never going to dispel some of the rumours that are going around. I just see things and I think they must have they must feed into it a little bit. Say for instance, Trent. When was in the States, I had a feeling from when we was there, we saw him in the club. This was ages ago that he was going to maybe move to Real Madrid. That started building and building and building. But for time, the club obviously Real Madrid never going to come out and say we're not signing Trent or we are going to sign Trent. But I feel like they have some sort of power to keep, I don't know, that energy going and going and going and going amongst the media.
It's a little bit different sometimes in Europe. Like those clubs,
those are mind
like
games.
a Real Madrid, they operate a lot differently than the clubs over here. So you will have like a Real Madrid briefing, or say a Marca, which is a paper, there's a newspaper in Spain,
Madrid,
which is very close to them, where they will deliberately, that does happen a lot abroad. But I think over here in this country, especially with a lot of these Premier League teams, especially Arsenal, honestly, they don't like to brief up journalists about transfers until those transfers are almost ready to be done, right? So it won't be them saying about Zubimendi, trust me, it will be the agents around it, it'll be the people who've heard, because listen, let's face it, like a deal like a Zubimendi or any of those big deals that you're seeing getting done at the moment, there's multiple people involved in those.
Different camps.
Different camps, different agents. So all it takes is for one of them to say to a journalist they know that, hey, Zubimendi, it's literally done. He's agreed terms. The club, they're up for it. It's going to happen. And that's how most of those rumors start, I'm telling you.
Okay. Right, well, I'm multitasking right now, but I want to get your thoughts in. You're quite in depth when it comes to your thoughts. We'll go to Super Chats about, no, they don't influence certain stuff then, but why for you and everyone on the panel are Arsenal taking so long to make these signings? Is it because of the Club World Cup that they can't get things done?
I'm just saying that the balance in
the books?
Listen, and I can be very critical of Arsenal and their transfers and that, but I just don't think that 5 days into a transfer window that's opened early at the start of June, which is an unusual thing, there's never really normally happened, them not doing business is not really them being slow.
There's a poll in the chat.
We don't know what's going on beyond the sea. I think what it is a lot of it is stress because we're still hurt from January.
Yeah.
when we did no business and that. So we are so desperate. We are so desperate to see signings, right, because of January, that our patience is absolutely zero at the moment. But really and truly, the window opened on the 1st, and today's the 5th. And I just think that people, I mean, especially if you're trying to do, and especially if you're trying to do big deals.
Yeah,
they're not overnight things.
Do you know what it is? I feel like the reason why a lot of fans are like agitated is because there's not a clear strategy. So like in the last season, we knew we were going to go for Marino. We knew we were going for Calafiori. Do you know what I mean?
Still took
like
ages.
The season before that, we knew we were going for Timber. We knew we were going for Rice. We knew we were going for Jesus Zinchenko. Like, I think fans now, they're sat here, they're like, well, we don't even know what striker we're getting, and that's our main thing that we really need to get. Do you know what I mean? I think that's why so many people are on edge, because there's not really, like, for once, a really clear strategy of what direction we're going to go in. And I think
is that fair to say, because you know Edu going on garden leave and the changing of,
and I feel like in a way you have to be a bit patient, because you know we've got a brand new sporting director. It's his first ever window with us, and what I like about him so far is that before, where we were just hearing, oh, it's only Sesko, we only want him, we're only looking at him, he's actually saying, no, I'm going to have a look at Victor Gyökeres, I'm going to have a look at this person and that person. And I just feel like, you know what, as you said, we're only 5 days in. If I'm willing to wait, as long as the person that we get is worth the wait.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It's only 5 days, but we also need to remember there's a guy, he's only just walked into the job. He's been here a couple of months, he's laying the groundworks, and he's also doing other things like making sure the players we got stay. Do you know what I mean? Gabriel, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's very important. Like signing up Gabriel Jesus, trying to make sure you tie down Thomas Partey. Gabriel.
I said that.
Magalhaes.
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yeah,
Gabriel Magalhaes, right? But tying down those sort of signings is very. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work they've got to do, but you know, and also,
but they're doing that.
Right. Also, as I said, right, we want the right signings. You know what, right? I'm not going to repeat it because we recorded a show earlier. I really urge people to go and watch the Invincible podcast when it's out today, right? It was good. Because I speak about a lot of last year's signings. And let me just give you a little hint to what I was dealing with on the show, right? Last transfer window in the summer, not in January, in the summer, I think a lot of people, probably even, I think I might even have said it, a lot of people thought that, like this, they've got this phrase, the team that won the transfer window. Yeah. A lot of people thought West Ham won the transfer window.
Yeah, when you go through the team players. Yeah.
And then when you go through those players that they've signed, not one of them have worked, right? And they finish just above Tottenham.
Yeah.
So you've got to get the signings right.
They were saying Spurs they had a really good window as well.
Yeah, but they finished
17th.
Yeah,
so, so I just think, the new sporting director's in. We've got a bit of what they call it, PTSD or what they call it. Yeah, we've got that because especially because of January. Especially because of January, and we all thought, me included, thought we're definitely going to sign players, right? And we actually did need to bring in players early in that window, and we didn't do anything. We didn't buy anybody, and that's why everybody's patience now is just run out already.
Is there? Sorry, Laura, I want to bring you in 1 second, but is there more to it as well? That I know what you're saying. 5 days into the window. But the more you wait and wait and wait, the more the fans, whether they care, I feel like they won't.
5 days.
But the fans will get more and more annoyed and say, and then you confirm a Sesko. They're like, who's this? You all this waiting for him. Yeah, for this.
The pressure's on, innit? I feel like because of how last season ended, the pressure is very high for this season. So now you're looking at this transfer window like, right, you must rectify these issues, because as you were saying earlier, Dad, like in January we did nothing. So everyone's looking at the summer window like we need to rectify all these issues, where there's quite a lot of them. And I feel like obviously when you see someone not really show urgency, or you're not even getting maybe any real hints of what the club's doing, what their movement's like you're just hearing a load of throwaway names almost of the club being like, oh, we're talking to this person, talking to that person, but there's not a person nailed on that they really like other than a DM. Like, that's not really encouraging to you as a fan. That's not like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, I can't lie, I remember Declan Rice, I was so excited. We knew for a long time that we were going to get.
But was that done in 1 week?
No, it wasn't.
No, I knew about that in January. It got done.
It wasn't
No, but it wasn't done. It
got done in the. Yeah.
No, hold on. Let me just remind you, Declan Rice.
I remember how long it took.
Number one,
It was in
it
July.
weren't done in a week.
I know,
It was
I built
done
a
in
movie for
July. Number two, everybody was losing it. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
Man
Man City are in. It's over. It's finished.
That's fair.
That's why, and that's another reason, as I say to you, right, why a club won't put it out there and say it's definitely done.
Yeah.
Because a team could look with that deal, right? It was out there that Arsenal in for Declan Rice. There was rumoured bids, all those
you
sort of
had
things. As I said,
Bayern,
that
you had-
wouldn't come from the club.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, City come in.
And Bayern Munich as well. Was
And had it
something
not been for the fact that really Declan Rice
wanted
had
to come to
already
Arsenal.
spoken to, he definitely wanted to come to Arsenal, that could have been a big problem for Arsenal. So that's why these clubs, I'm telling you, they will not really want to be briefing journalists on it until they're certain
Let
that
me
it's going to happen.
Let me run through super chats, Laurie. After this, I'm going to come to you about the Sesko Gyökeres talk, which is dominating Arsenal everywhere, dominating Arsenal media and fans. Saraf
Yeah,
says.
Sarthak.
It says time for Robbie's so-called as per my sauce. People are wanting the sauce. Heinz, ketchup,
want the
but
sauces.
they want the sauces.
Jerk sauce.
Josephone says there's also people. There's a poll in the chat. Please vote. The club influence transfer rumours or PR ? 100% or no? Of course not. Let me know what you think. Josephone says why can't we put 45 million that we are spending on the Greek kid we are loaning on Delap as a second striker to Gyökeres. Typical Arsenal, always thinking about future when we're one step away.
By the way, that's a rumour.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
rumour,
not
we're not sure.
that's not a dead cert that's definitely happening. That's a rumour. About that kid from Greece that spoke about this morning, plays for Genk. At this stage, it's a rumour.
Okay.
It's not. You know what I mean? You got to, decipher and know there's a difference between rumours and something that's definitely happening.
Let me go to Brian's super chat here that says big up Donna Kenya becoming a voice of reason.
Big up
Well,
yourself,
normally the
Brian.
Don is the voice of reason,
Big
but
up yourself.
the daughter's taking that mantelpiece.
She's the first lady of AFTV.
Yeah, man.
First, right?
Make sure I tell them you're
I
not.
was crowned by
Tell him
myself.
MVP, young rising star. Wayne Sage says window opened 5 days ago and Arsenal fans are panicking already. We know Zubimendi is done. Calm.
No.
Blood clot self down. Sorry, I couldn't have to stretch out the screen for that. Calm Unus blood clot self down.
He's right.
Josephone says, Rob, we are early on, but Man United, who have no Europe, signing two of the best forwards in the league. Liverpool, who won the league, go and get the best cam in Europe and replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. We're signing sporting directors. Now, it's funny, when it's put like that, it's frustrating.
That's a very good
It
one.
is frustrating.
That is fun.
So Josephone, I think that's a
But
well-worded...
signing early doesn't mean you've signed the best players there. Like they've signed one player, by the way. It's Cunha.
Cunha, yeah.
Right.
Mbeumo.
Mbeumo at the moment
He just favours.
He's a
that's a thing that they're trying to get
Same
done.
with Florian Wirtz.
I think
so
we all
again-
know that he's going to go there. No?
Yeah, he may do, but these are the, you know what I mean. Just like you could then say the same thing with like a Sesko or a Gyökeres. Probably one of them will go to Arsenal, but Mbeumo is not done. You know
It's
what I mean?
close
People-
though, right?
I don't know.
don't
Is
know
it close? They said today rejected the deal. He's come out and said that he'd like to go. You know, and again, for me, that's agent talk. Because he probably Mbeumo really wants to go to.
Yeah.
Listen, let me just break it down. Like something like the Mbeumo deal, right? And this is me speculating because I've not spoken to the agents around it, but this is just me in my experience of doing this over the years and my experience of talking to agents, right? Mbeumo wants to go to Manchester United.
Yeah, he's giving the green light.
He would like to go to Manchester United. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Yeah. Normally, when you've got 1 year left on your contract, you can go pretty cheaply to another team. Yeah. But Brentford, knowing how good a player he is, want to get maximum amount of money for him. They want 50 million plus. Man United know he's only got a year left. They want to pay as little as they possibly can because he's only got a year left, right? So there's a lot of negotiation to be going on. So there's probably been pushbacks behind the scene. So Mbeumo's people are putting it out there. They're the ones briefing the press, saying to them that, listen, he's decided he wants to go to United. There's all of a sudden David Ornstein comes out. He wants to go to United. All of a sudden that puts a lot of pressure
on the clubs.
on Brentford.
Yeah.
to try and get, you know what I mean, like, you know, the player said he wants to go. We're going to have to get as much money as we can. Now we're in the negotiation stage. They haven't signed him yet. So
yeah, they haven't signed him yet, but I think come the start of the 25-26 season, I think it's a very, very, very good chance that Mbeumo will be a Man United player.
True. It's a very, very good chance that Sesko or Gyökeres could be an Arsenal player.
Yeah, that's true. That's true also. But I think what the and listen,
and this is
90% of what you said is accurate. However, this is where the concerns lie. So, and this is where I'm aligned with Cecil and with the First Lady over there as well. So, we all, like you said, Robbie, we've been here before. We've got the PTSD, right? And we're seeing, right, already Chelsea signed Delap. We're seeing Liverpool, Frimpong signed. Looks like Wirtz could be coming. You know, they're active. All these men are active. Man United finished 15th. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's the worst ever." Cunha's is pretty much done. Mbeumo looks like that's going to happen. And they're linked with a few other players. Whereas with us, there's lots of talk.
We're linked with players.
Yeah, but there's lots of talk, but nothing really seems to be moving on.
So look, we're linked with. Listen, it's not. I'm not here to defend the club, right? Because I'm not part of.
Really?
I'm not part of any.
You're doing a pretty good job.
I'm not part of any deal. I'm just trying to.
You're doing a pretty good job.
No, all I'm trying to be is a bit realistic here, right? Is I say that the window open on June the 1st is the 5th, right? Yeah. I understand why people feel like they do, but listen, I do feel like that guy said that Wayne Sage. People need to calm down a little bit, man, because the window's only been open for 5 days. There's lots of negotiation are going. We're linked to players too. We're heavily linked with Sesko. We're heavily linked with Gyökeres. We're heavily linked with Zubimendi. A lot of people claiming that's done.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Arsenal are probably closer to Zubimendi. We don't know the full thing at the moment than Liverpool are to getting Wirtz done. Liverpool's still negotiate. Listen, Wirtz has said he wants to, again, another one with Wirtz has said he wants to come to Liverpool, right? We ain't done yet.
As Zubimendi said he wants to come to Arsenal.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't really said anything.
He hasn't said anything. He was trying to.
Is that not a concern for you?
They tried to question him about.
Is that not a concern for you that we've been linked for all this time with Zubimendi?
No, but
and now we're hearing Zubimendi.
No, but Laurie, is that because he's already knows it? Did Declan Rice say? Did Declan Rice say he's coming to Arsenal?
Want to give a
when all those teams were being linked, when City come in, did Declan Rice say anything?
Yeah.
He
was there saying on West Ham. Do you know what I mean?
He didn't. I mean, some players, as I said, Wirtz. There's multiple, you know, there was a few teams, Bayern and that want him. He wants to go to Liverpool. So he's probably briefed again, his agents, a brief journalist to say he wants to go there, which then turns it into just a negotiation between Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen because of what they've put out there. That wouldn't have been the club, Laurie. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right.
Let me move forward. We're gonna.
Sorry, you wanted to.
No, I was gonna say. I think a good example is like last summer. You had Joe Garcia saying how much he wanted to come to Arsenal, and he's not even ended up here. He's gone to Barcelona. So there's so many things that can happen.
Well, he hasn't gone yet. But
he hasn't gone yet, but it's pretty much done. So things happen with a flip
Trent
of a
never
coin.
said he wanted to go to Real Madrid, but he's there.
All I would say on that is whatever signings the club deemed to make, it's very important that those signings are made as soon as possible. And that come pre-season training, those guys are already
in pre-season.
in the club.
But when's pre-season, Laurie?
I know. So I'm just making a point that whoever it is they go for, and they will go for players. Let's hope they can get them in time, pre-season, and
100%. But that's what I'm saying. Like, we just need to calm down because pre-season is July, right? And we at the start of June right now. And as I said, I understand why people are losing it, but they need to just chill a bit, man. The window just opened.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying.
And I agree with you. But what I'm also saying is, you can understand why fans are reticent.
I do.
And
I said that right from the beginning. I do understand
because as well, they're seeing other clubs get things across the line, like the Chelsea thing with Delap.
But the Delap thing's a little easier. The release clause that you just boom.
Would you have taken him?
Would you have taken him? I'd take Delap as a second striker. He can't be my main striker.
Would you have taken him, Kenya?
Yeah, second striker, yeah.
Would you have taken him, Laurie?
No.
Okay. Listen,
would you have taken him?
Yeah, I'm gonna say something in a second as well. I want to throw some hard questions out. Let me read some of these super chats are flying in. Thank you, everyone. Let me write these.
We want somebody that can win the Premier League. With respect, Rory Delap's not that guy.
Rory?
His dad's retired.
Sorry,
That's the bro. That's the bro.
He ain't the player, you're right.
That's the dad. The long cruise.
Trust me.
Rory Delap's his dad, right?
Yeah. The long cruise.
Arca Gang with a super chat says Marino proves Kai is such a scrub. Arteta out is obviously going to the fact that Marino went in that position and scored goals, but you can't say that. You're seeing the Kai Havertz training pictures, him in the gym and that. It's all over social media. Arca Gang says Robbie, no more excuses. PTSD from last year.
I'm not making no excuses, you know. I'm just trying to be a bit real here.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and you know, if you want to think, you know, but sometimes you got to be real.
That's what it is.
Wayne Sage says this is not FIFA Football Manager. I think he's kind of backing Robbie there.
Big up to that guy I met yesterday. Actually, who makes Football Manager. Yeah, he's a guy like, and he was actually telling me that how loads of football clubs now use the stats.
For the scouting.
They've got even a different section for football clubs that are like a private.
You should have asked him, do Arsenal use this stuff?
He said all the clubs use it.
Oh, all of them, okay.
Just a little drop there. I used to be in Football Manager 2015, just but just don't worry about me. It just says
how much were you?
Cheap. Don't go searching for that. Very cheap. But I had some strengths, young prospect. Idris says, what do we do with
buy one get one free?
What do we do with Havertz when we sign a striker? There's so much to get through in the show, but that's a good question. A backup striker.
For me, yeah.
Arteta will not have that.
Why not?
Seems like he stands by Kai Havertz.
He must.
If you sign a striker and like, say you signed a Gyökeres, right? He's the backup. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm sorry.
I agree. I'm going to use a phrase that will resonate with your good self. He's a backup dancer, man.
Me, backup dancer.
Not you.
I'm the main artist.
I know you love your dancing. That's what I'm saying.
Fair.
Yeah, Robbie's right. He said, "Come on, bro. Listen. With all due respect, we've seen the Havertz thing already. It's not going to get any way better than this. The man is not a 20-goal-a-season striker. So if we're looking to elevate and go on and win the big things that we're all coveting, you've got to improve in that area. Simple as that.
How much can we get Gyökeres for? How much?
I think Gyökeres is about just under 60 million.
57?
So he's less than what we paid for Kai Havertz, and he still thinks he starts over him.
And Sesko would be actually more expensive than Gyökeres.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So Sesko
really scores like 90 million
Sesko,
euros.
yeah, it's not going to be as much. But Sesko will be more expensive than Gyökeres, but his wages will be less.
Yeah, Gyökeres wants 300, doesn't he?
Will be probably about 200.
220?
220, something like that, yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's still less than Kai Havertz. So do you push him into do you push out that number one scorer?
Jesus is getting 200 knots.
50, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and he weren't starting, was he? So, you know, I don't think if you bring that striker in, he starts.
People are saying here 280k backup striker and Jesus third striker over 200k as well.
Listen, we had players. Listen, Mikel Arteta had players, right, that were earning crazy more money than that, right? That he just let leave for nothing.
Aubameyang,
and Aubameyang and Ozil and people like that. So
it's a good fair point. Joe's phone comes back with super chat and says, "But Robbie, if Liverpool won the league, surely we should be getting Wirtz in order to overtake them, as we have Odegaard. This one example." And happens all the time with us. It's okay to criticize.
Are you willing to blow?
Our priority?
Yeah.
Our priority is a striker.
Are you willing to blow the budget on Florian Wirtz? Like, look at, they bid like 100 and something plus for Florian Wirtz.
Yeah, 110 million, and that's been rejected.
And imagine if we just got Florian Wirtz and maybe a few other players and not a striker, we'd be back to square one saying the same things. Like, nah.
We need a striker.
And I love Florian Wirtz.
Yeah, Florian Wirtz is a great player, but we need a striker. They don't, you know, they more need a creative player.
Yeah.
Nico
with a super chat says it was pickpockets last summer. What useless gimmick will Super Mick try this summer? Find out on the next episode of Excuses and XG. Wow, see, there's fans out. I get their frustrations. I really do.
I understand it.
Do you know what? I'm gonna give you all a difficult question, and it might highlight how frustrated fans are at the moment. Okay, Florian Wirtz and Jeremy Frimpong, or Martin Zubimendi and Sesko. And I'm going to add on to that. What would you prefer? I'm going to add on to that. Mbeumo, I'm not confirmed, I understand that. Mbeumo and who's Man United? And who?
And Cunha.
And Cunha. So I've gone Sesko and Zubimendi, Cunha and Mbeumo, and then what Liverpool got Wirtz and Frimpong. I think we're the bottom of that list of the three of what I would want to see at Arsenal.
But
But Cecil, what
It's
you're doing here,
dependent on
right?
what
What do you need? Right, see, this is the mistake that clubs make, and that's what I'm saying.
we need another right back?
That's what. When I looked at, like, say for
level of
instance,
player.
last season, when Chelsea signed João Felix, lots of people saying, "Why didn't we get him, man? Felix,
Yeah, but
bro."
they didn't need
barely
it.
played.
Right, they didn't need him. He barely played. He went out on loan.
flopped massively.
He's a big flop, right? Because they didn't really need him, right? I want Arsenal to get what they need. We're gonna need a
Yeah.
defensive midfielder. It may not be fashionable right now, but with Jorginho going, right, we need a defensive midfielder. Zubimendi is considered one of the best in the business. Go and get him. We don't need a Brian Mbeumo. We got Saka, who plays on that right-hand side. You got Wanyeri, who's emerged now, who can back him up. Let's go and get what we need. We need a striker. That's my thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to lose this thing now where I'm taking like this. Like,
rose-tinted glasses.
this is not basketball like with the all-stars team. We need to go and get what we need, right?
Cecil
we all
wants the
know.
shiny.
It feels flat though.
if
When
you-
you see-
if
when
I-
you-
if
when
I-
you-
shiny object,
when you see that level of quality going to those clubs and you think,
Of course
we're
it's
Arsenal,
disappointing.
we finished second, we need a little bit extra, and then
Is Mbeumo better than Saka?
Sesko. No, he's not better than Saka.
So
of
why do you
course
need
not.
to get Mbeumo for?
But I think he's better than what a Sesko would
Do you
want
want to? Do you want to block Wanyeri's progress?
No.
So then, why would you go and
Yeah,
get
but
him?
Mbeumo
Just to
maybe
make,
could maybe
just
put
to,
him in a nine,
do you
maybe?
go? Hold on. Do you? No,
Dembele,
but then,
Yeah, but then-
is a
do you
winger
go-
plays
do you-
in the nine. He's on course.
no,
to get-
go and get a proper strike. We've been all moaning for
want
the
a quality
past
level.
couple of seasons that we don't have a proper striker.
Yeah.
Go and get
I think-
a proper strike. That's when I'll be cussing.
Yeah.
If I see this summer pass and Arsenal have not got a proper striker, I'm going to be really angry.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like,
what we need.
For me, I feel like we see fans complain about the likes of Trossard playing false nine, etc., but then would want to say, I want to get Mateus Cunha's better than Trossard, but we want to get another guy who's actually not a nine to play there. Go and try and get the guys that are actually really good in that position. Go and get people that are going to excel in those positions. Because I think you look at our last couple of seasons, we've tried to move people into positions that Mikel Merino should never be playing number 9. Do you know what I mean? Trossard should never be playing there. But because we've kind of walked around the actual thing we need by trying to maybe look at all these fancy players instead of just getting the one thing we actually need, that's why we're in this situation. I guarantee you, if we were to go and get Mateus Cunha, he's fantastic, we'd be back here next season saying, why don't we get a striker? We still need a striker.
Cecil's
It's still
that
not
type of
enough.
guy, right?
Could still get a striker.
He's going to a wedding.
Could
He
still get a
needs a
striker.
wedding suit, and he comes back with a Louis Vuitton belt. Yes, it's
Oh my
lovely.
God.
Yes,
You get
it's
both.
great.
It's an
No,
expression
but
thing.
sometimes
You
you
need a
can't
belt.
get
You need
both.
something to hold up your trousers, man.
Yeah,
I've
but
got
where's
some-
the
I've got some
trousers? Where's the
things- I've got
trousers?
some things in
You've got no
Where's
trousers
the
on.
trousers? You ain't got no trousers on.
You blew the budget on the belt.
You blew the budget.
trousers.
You
and
blew-
I'd show off the belt.
You
like
blew
it's-
you blew
like
the
what it is.
budget for the suit on a Louis Vuitton belt. Yes, the Louis Vuitton belt looks really good on you, but hey, you needed a suit. For
Hey,
the
listen,
wedding.
I've got some good friends that can borrow some
Exactly,
trousers
man.
and put the belt on.
But
make
you
it
get my
shine.
point, right?
No, I hear
Robbie's
you.
right. Robbie's right. You needs must, especially when you consider the position that we're in. You look at, listen, if you look at the table last year, it tells its own story. We finished second, 10 points behind Liverpool.
14
we had
draws.
14 draws.
Yeah.
A lot of those draws, Cecil, you look back at them, the difference is a goal, right?
Yeah.
And in those games, a lot of those games, I've actually checked it. We had by far the majority of the possession in those games, and we created the most chances. We just couldn't get it across
A
the
lot
line.
of those games we were leading those games.
Yes.
And we just needed to kill, get that second goal.
So get what you
Didn't
need.
take the chance.
Not the shiny object.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let me move forward. I want you guys. I'm gonna do it in a second. To get, you've all got your phones, so you can get a photo of the player that's not been linked to Arsenal, not even been mentioned. A player that you think would fit well in this Arsenal team. But I don't want. You've covered so many players, but there might be someone that you've seen. Even if it's anyone, I want everyone to get a photo. 1 second, because we're going to do a hands up thing as well. But let me go through the super chats quickly. Anton Nonomus, only one please. Anton Nonomus says, Robbie, you've been talking about Zubi like it was a done deal. Now it's only a rumour.
No, but listen, it's still a rumour. Of course it's a rumour until it's done. But I do think that deal will get done, yes.
Okay.
I do think that deal will get done.
Tomorrow when I watch you on Transfer Daily, you better say, yo, yeah, it's a rumour, but I hope
I don't think that deal. I don't think we'll see that deal materialise until the end of this month. Is what a lot of people are saying. because Real Sociedad don't want to do that deal. That's the other thing that a lot of people need to remember as well with this transfer window is that there's a lot of clubs, they don't want to do a deal until the end of June so that they can show that in their next year's accounting. So that's another factor that comes into these things as well that, you know, maybe some people don't understand.
Okay, we're flying through. Time is running. Super chats from Pablo says, shout out AFTV. Relax. Transfers just opened. Again, there's some. I don't know where I said. I emphasise with the Arsenal.
Sorry, did you say this has got to be a person that no one?
Yeah, that you haven't
really
thinking. No, if Arsenal haven't been, someone.
We've not been linked with.
Yeah,
really.
so you can go on Google and just type in a name, get the photo, and you're going to show the camera, and then you're going to justify why you'd want them at Arsenal. But we're going to do that in a second. You got a bit of time. Don't worry, we're going through super chats. Just hasn't been linked to Arsenal, so it could be a player, it could be any player.
This is hard.
It is hard. Only
not
one.
linked at all. Like
literally every player's been linked to us already.
You're saying
So
if not linked at all.
maybe
Okay,
not an obvious link.
Yeah, not okay. Someone that's not being spoke about. I've got some
kind of
deep
to this person.
left field fit players that
You're gonna come.
no one knows about. CONCACAF life. Some unknown players. Brian says, Robbie, you were vouching for Mbeumo just last week.
No, I said when me and Turkish that time was thing, I said I'd take Mbeumo at Arsenal.
You were
definitely.
I remember you saying that.
Right, but remember I was saying I'd take him on the left wing. Subsequently to that, I was there with Marcus Gale at Bournemouth on Saturday when we was at the event, and I said to him, actually no, it wasn't even Saturdays, when at the Ghana-Nigeria game, and I was speaking to Marcus Gale used to play for Bournemouth, he's ambassador at Bournemouth, and we was in
Brentford.
Brentford, and we're there, and I was saying to Marcus, I said, can he play on the left, Marcus? And he goes, not really. He goes, he's really second striker or right hand side. After that, I said, nah, that we don't need him.
Didn't know that. Didn't know he can play on the left.
So I thought he said he could probably play, but he goes, he's always ever played on the right hand side or as a second. He actually said to me that he kind of plays more as a second striker than even on the right hand side. So that was very interesting.
Let me carry on with the super chat. You got time, people? Don't worry. Lee Robbins.
I've done mine already, mate.
Lee Robbins. All right. Oh, teacher's pet. Look at him straight away. Gold star on that. Lee Robinson says Laurie told us Isak was coming. Delusion.
Did I? Well, obviously I got that wrong. I'd have loved him to have come. If I did say that, it was wishful thinking. And yeah.
But remember Isak here, when he first came to the Premier League, he was not a prolific goal scorer.
He had like 5 goals.
Not like, you know, he wouldn't have been hyper exciting signing, would he? He would have been like a signing for, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And look how good he's turned out to be.
True. Radiant and Dyer says Cecil has a valid point in positions of need. Arsenal aren't recruiting at the same quality as clubs around them. And Robbie Zubimendi was a Jan signing. We haven't got him yet, but I hear what you're saying. We kind of knew about it from January.
He should be here,
Should be here.
But
We're in June.
We did hear about it kind of being done from January, but it's not here. It's not been done. But that happens.
Yeah, we heard that with Declan Rice.
Omar Boss says, what's happened with Zubi? I mean, I think a lot of us from you know what I feel like's happening is it is done, but they're talking about balancing the books.
So it's done, but the player himself doesn't seem to be.
But no player.
That.
We've gone over this. Players don't come out and say they want. I'm signing for Arsenal. I want to sign for that. Same like loads of players. Rice never said it. I said about Trent never said it. No players announce where they're going.
I think Arsenal fans need to be cautious of this because remember last year he was very strongly linked to Liverpool and we saw it happen to them.
Yeah, it's true.
When they started getting out of their box with Zubimendi. So.
It's true. Right, put your phones on desk. We have to do it just yet. We're going to do when I say these names of players that we've been linked to, if you want them or not, all you have to do is raise your right hand. If you don't want them, just don't raise any hands. We'll start with Anton Semenyo. Would you want him at Arsenal? Raise your right hand if you would. Do I? Is he
I do like him.
So
like him, too expensive, not prolific.
But he's had a good season, 10 goals I think he got.
Yeah. Both-footed, comfortable.
I'd like him to be a bit quicker.
You like him to be a bit quicker?
He can play on either side, but I just feel like...
I'd
take him, but he's not my main...
Depends how much he is.
I would take him.
Depends how much he is.
Be about 50.
I'm going to do this. Depends how much
50.
he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm like
he'd be about
this.
50 million. But he's a good player.
You're on the fence, you two, yeah?
I
do like him, man. He's good.
50 million, I think that's worth it for someone like that. He is from listen.
No, he's quality. I like him.
He's definitely quality. I spoke to obviously a player that plays at Bournemouth, James Hill, and he said he stills like,
strong as
in
well.
training. No one get near him. He's physical. He's quick. He's
really
he's
good.
both foot. You don't know which way he's gonna go. I'll take him. I'm up. Mine's up there halfway. Laurie. Yep, with it.
I would take.
I'm half.
Yeah. Kudos.
I like him.
This is one of James' James is away, but he'll be back on this show hosting soon.
James.
He is a man that campaigns for Mohamed Kudus. Absolutely loves the man.
I'm there again.
Oh,
Yeah, so am I.
You too.
You know what it is again, Cecil? I like Mohamed Kudus, but then
Is he the
again,
answer?
on that side, that right-hand side, I think we're right now because we got Saka and we got Wanyeri. So, but I do like him.
I don't want
but
Kudus, you know. I don't know why.
he's not-
I'm with you.
If he was
Dad.
on the
I'm a bit
left-hand
like-
side,
yeah, if he was on the left,
definitely.
Yeah, different. Yeah,
So-
that's why I put my hand up for Semenyo, because he can play on
Yeah.
both sides. Kudus, I'm going to hold. I see people in the chat as well getting involved. No, yes,
What did
no,
you go,
yes.
Where you
No,
going?
not for me. No.
Yeah, not for you.
So me and you are similar.
Yeah.
Rodrigo at Real Madrid. People in the
Bring my brother home.
the thing is,
Bring.
what will the price be for Rodrigo?
We got money, man.
We
Go and
got money.
spend it.
We're not
I'll take
broke.
that.
We're not broke. Stop
Take
broke
that. That'd be
boy
the
talk.
sort of exciting signing.
You go and get
Yeah,
his
it gets
shirt.
it gets
That
you
takes
off
you
your
to the
seat.
shop. You would go and get his
I'll
shirt
take
printed.
it.
Is he consistent enough? Am I?
Yes, he is consistent. Let's stop this now. Stop. He is consistent,
Oh,
club
definitely.
and country.
What's the chat? You're gonna sway me on this. Some people say yes. Some say no. I'd rather Leao than Rodrigo.
Yeesh.
No chance.
Why was Wanyeri?
Leo's quality.
Leo's
Rodrigo
good, but
all
I
day
just-
and twice on a Sunday. Okay, okay. People are saying it.
Yeah, I'd go with Rodrigo.
All
All
right.
right, give us a
The only
It's a lot of money
The
I'm
only
spending.
slight doubt I might have with him is physically he doesn't look that big. How would he adapt to the rigours and the physicality of
Yeah,
the
but look at him in the
League?
Champions League, though, man. Look what he
No, but
does.
that's a little bit different, though.
Yes,
Is it?
Rodrigo.
Is it
Rodrigo
really?
has 32 goals in 7 seasons. No Rodrigo unless it's for less than 60 million. I mean, the price will be a big factor.
Yeah, the price is a big factor, but I really like him, to be honest.
Okay, next one. Keenan Yildiz.
I really
youngster.
like Keenan Yildiz of Juve.
Good player,
He's good.
but
I don't know if
prospect
he's...
still for me.
Yeah, I'm keeping my hand down.
I'm like
keeping my hand
here,
down.
but like a slant.
My hand didn't even get off the table.
So that's an all hands down. Ecstasy says, let's go get Bacola. Bacola.
No, my hands
right
are my hands are
right
gone.
hand up if
my
you want
hands,
him.
my hands are gone.
Would definitely take.
Would you? I don't-
Yes.
I'm surprised by you. 'Cause I feel like you feel like these them French players all a bit hype and YouTube.
No, no.
Do you know what
players
my
and-
thing is?
And
No,
that's
no,
why I
no.
always
No,
thought
not him. No, he's quite. He misses chances.
he does.
But he's quality. He actually scores a lot of goals as well, though. He scores a lot of goals. He's absolute electric pace, skillful.
People want Bacola.
No, that left wing, I would definitely take him. Yes.
I'm not a Barca
And
fan.
right,
They want Bacola. Bacola anytime.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
with them.
Bacola,
I'm
yes.
with them.
Mine's staying down. Kenya's is down.
Yeah,
Laurie
sorry,
didn't
I'm
give
guys.
like that.
You're halfway.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
I'm all up
The,
with that.
the people are getting involved and changing up some of the names, but Morgan Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring my brother.
Okay.
Bring my
Okay.
bring my brother.
Norris.
The thing with some of the British players, we've seen them. We've seen
Yeah.
them
Yeah,
like
we
in
know
the
what he
Premier
can
League.
do.
I'm a
No-
Premier League
yeah,
proven sort of
yeah,
guy.
He's Premier League proven. He's
Yeah.
a great player.
League, Champions League.
I'm enjoying this. Let's keep this going. Belieber.
Belieber,
Oh, come on.
not,
Sorry.
not yet.
Sorry.
You know what? Yeah, I'm here.
I'm here.
Man.
You know what?
Do you know what? Certain things
Belieber.
have to be right.
He's quality, but he's still a very young player.
Yeah.
So
Physical. Yeah, but
I'm
them
in,
sort of
I'm in the middle
attributes.
still. He's still got a bit more development.
Ask me
to
next
do.
Yeah,
season.
he's got development
Nah,
to do,
Belieber for
and
me.
the price has to be right.
Ask me
Do you know
next
what I mean?
season about him. From now, my
Yeah,
hand's not
I
coming
agree.
off.
A bit early for me, but I like him.
Someone says I'm not a believer. All right, and last one, Xavi Simons. Oh, raw, Kenya.
Yeah, love
I
him.
really wanted him a few
Can play,
seasons ago.
can play in multiple positions. Can do it in the
take
Bundesliga, PSG,
Is he playing on the left?
Champions
He's a
League.
left, though, isn't he?
He can
Yeah,
play anywhere.
Yeah. I'll take him. Can
I
play
think
midfield, attacking
He's
midfielder.
young. He's athletic. He scores. He
Bit
assists.
inconsistent though, isn't he?
I wanted him a few years ago.
I'd say for
I
Leipzig
mean, from
this
what I
season,
understand,
he's
he
been one of their
wasn't he
best
getting
players.
criticised at his club he's at the moment?
What, Leipzig have had a really poor season. I mean, they didn't finish in European
Does
places.
he adjust to the
in
Premier
the
League
top,
well?
top fours they should.
Does he
But
adjust to the
I
Premier
generally
League?
think he would hit the ground
Does he
running.
adjust to the Premier League well?
I
He's
really do.
small. I know, like,
I think
Doesn't matter.
Tactical.
What?
I know, no, listen,
Alexis was
Vitinha, I know,
small.
listen, there's players that
Who
boss it
cares?
small, but I'm just.
Who cares?
All right.
Trossard is small.
Yeah.
Alexis was small. Santi was small. Who cares? If you're a baller, you're a baller. Simple.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
it is.
Messi was small.
Messi
Messi
was the best in the
best
world.
player
No, I'm
ever.
not. Listen, it's not just, I'm talking about the physicality of the Premier League and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Nah, man. And then
That does come
he's
into
a
it, though.
starter for his national team. Bring.
people are saying, okay, I'm taking Simons.
Yeah.
No to Xavi. Xavi Simons, Kingsley, Brahim. Okay, overrated. Some people are saying,
Nah, I really
I'm
like
taking Simons. All right. I think I'll leave it at that. Let's let's go to the players that. Who wants to start to put forward a player?
Okay.
I'm happy to do so because I was able to do this quite quickly, actually.
Go on, gold star for Mr. Laurie Lyle.
Oh, surprise,
Put
surprise,
it to the
guys.
screen, put it to your face. Can we get a close up on Laurie, please?
Are
He's got
we
his phone there.
surprised? Are we
He's got up
surprised?
Ivan Toney.
Are you ever going to
Bring
let
him
this
back
dream
from
go?
Saudi, mate.
Oh, that's a left field one. You know, I didn't even
I like
consider
Ivan
that.
Toney.
Admit it, not many of you were thinking about that, were you? Tell the truth.
Yeah.
But listen, I've always liked Tony. Listen, he's got goals wherever he's gone, including the Saudi League. And like Tony says, if you've not seen it, you shouldn't comment on it. No, but in all seriousness, man, I've always rated him. We've seen what he can do in the Premier League. England striker, I think he's definitely an upgrade on what we have at the moment. And if we can't get Sesko or Gyökeres, I'd love to see the club try and get him.
By the way, right, there's a bit of breaking news. It's been tweeted out by an account called Hand of Arsenal, and I know that guy does a lot of tweets around transfers.
Yeah, he's
and he said Arsenal have made Rodrigo the #1 winger target for this summer.
Guys,
So me and you
they
had our
just
hands up,
they just
right?
saw our hands go up.
Yeah, I didn't
So,
know. I didn't put my hand up in the air. Took
we
time.
can exclusively reveal that the recruitment team at Arsenal are unanimous in the unanimous agreement that Rodrigo
So who
is a
pushes this
player
out?
who could be the difference in the hunt for major. These are rumours, by the way.
Yeah, this
So
is
you take these figures, right? Several key figures at Arsenal have spoken to Rodrigo, including first team players about life at Arsenal, North London. Other Premier League teams are involved and have set out their strategy to lure him, but I'm told that Arsenal will present a strong financial offer if the player is placed on the market. Now, there's a lot of if, buts or maybes in this,
Yeah.
because basically, yes, he may be a target for them, but as they're saying at the end there, if the
If he
player
wants
is placed on the market,
Yeah.
Rodrigo wants to stay at Real
Yeah,
Madrid.
he said
It is
already.
going to come down to Real Madrid if they want to cash in on him, but they're interested in Rodrigo.
That feels very if buts and maybes.
Yeah.
And it says what is the current situation? If you read on further, it says as we reported weeks ago, Rodrigo is set to have a meeting with Xavi Alonso regarding his future role at Real Madrid. This meeting is yet to take place, and we can also exclusively reveal Rodrigo will try to emphasise his will to play a left-sided role. The Brazilian feels that this is where he can express himself best and maximise his creative
He
potential.
could leave Rodrigo because, listen, they got Mbappe now. He's on that left-hand side.
Vinicius
He ain't
Jr.
getting that left-hand side. Vinicius Jr., right? They got Bellingham who can play up front there. They got
But it also needs to be said they have a new manager now, and
Yeah.
Rodrigo might be thinking with a new manager he might give me a
instead
chance
of
to.
in what who's he going to start in front of?
No, I'm saying that he might look at it like if there's a
Yeah,
new
he might
manager
look at
in
it like
town.
that, but we know the reality of it. If you're looking at those
Vinicius
players
Jr.
there,
and
he
Mbappe.
ain't displacing Vinicius Jr. or Mbappe, is he? Mbappe was a top scorer last year.
Yeah.
So
Vinicius
Listen,
Jr. 's
I'd love
Vinicius Jr.
Rodrigo to come to Arsenal. I mean, he's Brazilian. There's a big, well, I won't say big, but significant Brazilian contingent
Fit in.
at Arsenal that would make him more than welcome. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
but it's a rumour, people. Before you start
Yeah,
saying,
don't come.
So
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
rumour I like. I
I
do like it. I do like it. You've gone with Ivan Toney. We're gonna have to now.
You did say,
fly
just
through.
to qualify, you said somebody that we've not been linked.
Yeah, I like that.
So
Or
that's
or
why
just
I-
someone that's a bit left
Yeah,
field. I
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I like names that we haven't really been hearing about. So you've gone with Ivan Toney.
I've gone with Ivan Toney. Yeah.
I mean, come
We
back
need a
from
striker.
Saudi.
Okay.
Ah, okay. I don't even mind that. I think that's
I'm
not
not
a bad
against it.
shout. I don't know how much.
I won't turn my nose up at a striker, honestly.
Yeah, Ivan Toney,
Yeah.
proven in the Premier League.
Would
before.
we all agree that he's a significant upgrade on what we have at present?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm going to change
Of course.
Go on in, Kenya.
Okay.
Run it.
I had honourable mentions, but I'm going to go with this person. I don't know if you guys know who this is. This is Palvidis of Benfica. He's a striker. I think he scored like 20 goals in the league, 20 goals this season in the league. I really like him. I think as well what he does in the Champions League. I forgot who he got a hat-trick against. I think it was against Barcelona. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think he's brilliant. He's Greek. He's like 26. Like again, it's another striker that we've not really spoken about. That I don't really know what his situation is with Benfica if he'd want to stay. But I think if we were to come towards him with a good option, he might be happy to leave Benfica and start here. So it's just someone that we've not been linked with, to be honest. So but I really like him.
Give me an honourable mention quickly.
I had Retegui of Atalanta and I had Ademola Lookman, but we have kind of been linked with those two.
Rob, we have to be short and quick. We've got super chats.
Okay,
Hide.
Yes, my Niger brother.
Victor Osimhen.
Wait, what made you change? You've had bare people come up to you in Nigeria and say it's not worth it. He's wasteful. He's not the right.
Nah, man.
No. I like Victor
every
Osimhen. He scores goals, right? Like he went on loan to Galatasaray. Loan. A lot of players go on loan, sulk. You know what I mean? He was the main man at Napoli, sent out on loan, right? Again, top scorer. They've won the league. Yeah. You know what I mean, he scores goals, man. You can't argue. I know people like Stricto will say, "Yeah, but he misses." I think every striker misses chances, right? This guy, you can't deny he scores goals. I know we haven't been linked with him. The rumours are he could be heading to Saudi, but for me, this guy would be, for me, would be a top player at Arsenal. You know what I mean? I think him playing with the players around him, you know, Odegaards and Sakas and people like that, I think he'd thrive. So Osimhen I take, although I don't think it's going to happen. Well, it won't happen, but
he's banged in every league.
Every league he's been in,
France, Italy,
that's a
Turkey,
goal scorer.
And we're talking like 20 plus goals in those leagues. We're not talking 10 or so.
There's no doubt he's a goal scorer, but just to chime in on what Stricto said, it just appears. No, but you know what it is? Every time I see this man play, like, I sit down to watch him, he's never really impressed me.
Okay.
That being said, though, you can't argue with the goal scoring.
I watched him that season when Napoli won the league, man. He was brilliant.
Him and Kvaratskhelia carried the team.
And he's physical. He'd fit this league.
Yeah.
Yeah, that partnership with Kvaratskhelia. He could build up the same sort of partnership with Saka.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let me, because we've got 5 minutes till close. I want to make sure I read out some of the super chats. More honorable mentions. Marcus Rashford, maybe.
No.
Surprise.
I want to
people like this is why I popped in the way that is.
Drop some things in
Actually,
there.
with him, what's he gonna do? Because he's not gonna go back to Villa.
Just pull out his mic, man.
So,
pull out your mic.
His honourable mentions. These are my ones. João Pedro. I'm a big fan. You know me. We've been
pull out
linked
his
to
mic. Pull out his mic, man.
A number two striker. João Pedro, like him. But this one, very left field. No one's really gonna know about. A bias because I've worked with the player. His name's Promise David. And listen, it's a league, it's a Belgium league. They've just won the league. He scored 19 goals. Promise David, this is him.
Not Jonathan.
No, Promise David. Plays for Canada national team.
Nigerian.
No, he's Canadian. And he's a beast. Listen, he's a bit of a left field one. Not many people know about him, but I'm telling you,
what's his goal scoring stats? Like?
Scored 19 goals last season league. They won the league. He's very young. He said he wouldn't want to play in the Premier League, but if he got the right club, I know he would. And I work with him on international duty at times with Canada. He's a really good guy, physical, strong, and can find the back of the net. Something left field. I want to give someone to, as you go when we finish the live, have a little look. Something different. Probably not proven enough. If he got linked to him, people would go losing their mind. They're like, who's this? Who the hell is this? But
but sometimes those signings turn out to be the ones, isn't it?
Exactly that. Wayne Sage with Super Chat. Oh, wow. Super Chats are flying in. Right, people, let's run through these quickly. Isak had the same numbers as Sesko when he was at Sociedad. We spoke about this in the office many a times. Sesko plays in the team bottom table in chances created and 2 striker systems, yet exceeds his XG. So they're just saying basically.
I guess he plays a bit further behind Openda in it, so I guess there's that maybe he would score more goals if he was further forward, but whatever.
People are writing off Sesko. I am writing off Sesko. I want Jokeris over Sesko, but I know the Sesko stands are really saying, yo,
why are you writing off Sesko?
Because we don't need that now. We need
a striker.
No, it's not that we don't need him.
I'm saying over Jokeris. I want Jokeris.
I'd rather Jokeris, but if it's Sesko, I just want a striker, man.
But Cecil went for Jokeris. I'm writing him off
because I want Jokeris over. Yeah, I want Jokeris over.
It's only because of that, then.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But also, I saw a video from, you might have seen that it was going viral on Twitter when the ladies that I watch him week in week out at Leipzig. He doesn't link up play well at all. He can find the back of the net, but his passing is not great when it comes to link-up
just
play.
Pass the ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, I don't care. You could walk for like
Charlie Samson with a super that says, Rob, bring Kenya on Transfer Daily and instead of Rumour Rater, call it Kenya Believe It. Kenya Believe It. Hey,
guys,
I like that.
I don't wake up that early. I don't wake up early enough.
Privajaj says, at least renew Saliba, Partey, Saka, Gabby first.
That's being done though.
Yep.
That's being done right now.
They are working on those, which is really sensible.
That is the main thing when you...
The Gabriel one, I mean, like, he was under serious threat to leave.
Yeah.
So.
To go to Saudi.
Yeah.
Another actually clubs, to be fair. Infinite Injury Time says, Arteta fanboys saying, calm down, the window just opened. Like City and Liverpool haven't been on a madness. I mean...
But what you could say about Man City, they've been on a madness since January, and look what happened. They spent nearly 300 and something, nearly 400 million.
They got back into top 4 though because they were having a dire season.
But that signing of Marmoush though was an excellent
Yeah, it's
signing.
excellent, but
You got to look at things like that. Wayne Say says
know,
Rodrigo
can't just
over
throw money at
Leao
everything.
all day. Leao is overrated.
I
I
agree.
do
kind
like
of.
Leao,
I like Leao, but I do think he's a bit overrated.
but he doesn't track back, and we need our wingers to track back. Would Rodrigo track back?
He must. Yeah, he would. He does. No, for Real Madrid, he does. Vinicius Junior and Mbappe don't.
Fair.
Yeah, Vinicius Junior and Mbappe don't, but he does.
You know what? Go on, smudge me on it. I'm just come
Proper thing,
quick.
proper
I
thing.
like that. Kevin Kelly says we need a throwing coach. Too slow causes pressure. We got coaches.
That's good,
We
I
got
agree
coaches
with
for
that.
everything. Oh my god, we
That's a
got
good idea.
so many flying in. Wayne Sage says we really still on Tony. Another overrated player. Laurie, that's a.
I like Tony.
That's a
You
you.
said you wanted someone from left field?
Yeah, I'm
someone from left
defend
field.
your guy.
I mean, let's face it, it's not going to happen, but he is a good player.
Yeah,
no
I like
doubt
him.
about it.
Plus, he's Prem proven.
He is Prem proven. Nana says Semenyo over Rodrigo. Wow.
Wow.
He's Premier League proven. Kenya, please to the program often. Obviously, come be on here more often. You're brilliant in your submissions, like father, like daughter.
Thank you. No.
Go on, Rob. Praise
Yeah,
a
thank you.
run. Wayne Sage says Oshman overrated. He had one season when he scored over 15 goals.
I disagree.
It's quality. Last year,
He's top,
he
man.
scored over 15 goals last season
Yeah.
on loan.
At Lille, I'm pretty sure he scored more.
A player
more than
comes on
15
loan and wins you the league.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. That's
Yeah, I don't know about that, man.
Alvin with a super chat says Lookman has been underlooked. Not gonna lie, Arsenal in the end will just use 1 million Blackburn Rover as a strikers. Use a 1 million Blackburn Rover as a strikers. And lastly, Firm De Gunner, thank you for your super chat. People, we've come to the end of the first talking transfers of the transfer window and the summer transfer window. We will be returning regularly every week, as always, as a live show, hearing from you guys, getting your thoughts. You can grill Mr. Transfer Daily on these shows. You can
Be
speak
back
to
tomorrow.
He'll be back in the morning. You can speak to obviously the panelists as well. We'll be getting guests in on the show. We'll be adding more and more as the transfer window builds, from flippy pads to games to activations, all of that. We love this. We love to get you guys engaged and involved. I want to thank the panel. The Lyle family have joined me and
Mafia.
they've done the Mafia.
The Eagles are landing.
They've joined me for this show and it's been a great one. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Not just right now, but also as a video is published, you can get your comments in. We'll be checking them. Like the video on your way out and we'll see you again soon. Take care, people. Peace.